When the First World War ended in 1918, the world's attention was not focused only on Europe. There was another country that had rapidly increased its power throughout the war. That country was the United States, which was beginning to emerge as one of the world's greatest powers. When the war began, the United States tried to stay out of the conflict. At that time, the United States did not want to become directly involved in Europe's war. But as the war continued, the situation began to change rapidly. The countries fighting the war continuously needed weapons, food supplies, and other essential goods. The United States began supplying these countries with large quantities of weapons, machinery, and other essential goods. As a result, American factories began operating faster than ever before. New factories opened, and millions of people found employment. American farmers also began producing more grain than ever before because demand continued to rise. Gradually, many European countries became dependent on the United States for their essential needs. American banks also began lending large amounts of money to the countries fighting the war. Within just a few years, the United States became the world's largest lending nation. By the end of the war, America's power had increased many times over. After the war ended, American factories continued operating, and production increased rapidly. The United States was now producing goods not only for its own people but also for many countries around the world. Many European factories had been destroyed during the war, making those countries dependent on the United States. Machines, clothing, vehicles, and other essential goods were shipped from the United States to Europe in large quantities. This expanding trade made the American economy stronger than ever before. After the war, the United States rapidly rose among the world's strongest economies. American companies expanded quickly, and new industries were established across the country. Employment increased in cities, and the lives of millions of people began to improve. American banks also started providing large loans to many countries around the world. The economies of many European countries remained weak, making them increasingly dependent on the United States. Gradually, the United States emerged as the world's leading economic power. America's opinion now carried far greater weight in major global decisions than ever before. The war had made the United States stronger not only economically but also politically. The United States was no longer just a nation. It had become a major force in shaping world politics. America's post-war rise would go on to reshape the course of the world for decades to come. America's growing power began attracting the attention of countries across the world. Many European nations now looked to the United States for financial assistance and investment. American banks had begun providing large-scale loans to several European countries. With this financial support, many countries started rebuilding their industries and reviving trade. The United States hoped that a stronger global economy would help restore stability around the world. However, not every country viewed America's growing influence in the same way. Some nations believed that America's influence in world affairs was expanding too quickly. Even Europe's traditional great powers had to adjust to the changing balance of power. European nations no longer dominated world politics as they once had. The United States gradually began playing a much more active role in international affairs. American industries rapidly adopted new machines and modern technology. As a result, production increased, and goods were manufactured faster and at lower costs than ever before. New companies were established across the country, while existing industries continued to expand. The population of cities grew rapidly as people moved there in search of jobs. New employment opportunities improved the financial condition of millions of families. As people's incomes increased, consumer spending and shopping also grew rapidly. New automobiles, radios, and other modern products became part of everyday life. Scientific and technological innovations continued to emerge across the United States. These innovations strengthened both industrial growth and the nation's economic power. Gradually, the United States became a leading example of modern development for the rest of the world. However, not everyone benefited equally from this rapidly changing economy. Many farmers in rural areas were still struggling with economic hardships. In many regions, farm incomes were lower than expected. Many farmers continued to struggle with repaying their old debts. Despite these challenges, the government and industrial leaders remained confident about the nation's bright future. The rapid growth of cities inspired new hopes among the American people. Stories of America's success spread quickly to countries around the world. Many people began to see America as the land of opportunity and progress. People from many countries also came to the United States in search of a better life. As a result, America's population, economy, and cultural diversity continued to expand. The United States had now become not only an economic power but also a symbol of new ideas and new opportunities. Its growing power was becoming clearly visible in both world politics and international trade. America's role in many international decisions had become more important than ever before. The world's major nations now wanted to maintain strong relations with the United States. American companies were steadily expanding their influence in foreign markets. New investments and growing trade further strengthened America's position around the world. However, behind this rapidly growing prosperity, some hidden weaknesses were also beginning to appear. Many people had started believing that this economic growth would continue forever. No one imagined that the situation could suddenly change only a few years later. Soon, an economic event was about to occur that would deeply affect the entire world. By 1929, the American economy was considered one of the strongest economies in the world. The number of people investing in the stock market was increasing rapidly every day. People believed that stock prices would continue rising forever. Many people even borrowed money to invest in the stock market. In the beginning, people earned huge profits, which increased their confidence even more. But behind this rapid growth, several economic weaknesses were slowly being hidden. Many companies were not making as much profit as people expected. Even so, investment continued to rise, and the stock market became more overheated. Gradually, stock prices reached levels far above their actual value. This situation was becoming a warning sign of a major economic crisis. In October 1929, the stock market suddenly began to collapse. Within just a few hours, the savings of millions of investors started disappearing rapidly. Panicked investors rushed to sell their shares. But there were very few buyers, causing stock prices to continue falling sharply. This event pushed the entire United States into a deep economic crisis. Many major banks and companies began closing down because of huge financial losses. Thousands of factories reduced production or completely shut down. Millions of people lost their jobs and unemployment increased rapidly. Many families no longer had enough money to manage their daily expenses. The country that had recently represented prosperity was now facing severe economic difficulties. The impact of this economic crisis was not limited to the United States alone. Because of their economic connections with America, many other countries were also affected by the crisis. The effects were even more serious for Europe's already weakened economies. International trade declined rapidly, and many industries began facing major problems. Unemployment and economic hardships continued to increase in many countries around the world. People started losing faith in governments and old economic policies. In many countries, new political ideas began gaining support rapidly. The economic crisis increased public anger, dissatisfaction, and fear about the future. These difficult conditions started changing the political direction of many countries. This economic crisis later became one of the major reasons behind major political changes and new conflicts around the world.